All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our latest free webinar on tips and tricks. I'll be your host today, Chris Davies, one of the client success managers here with LMN. Just to kind of give you a little bit of a overview, today we will be covering the first of four webinar tips and tricks hosted by the CSMs. So today, again, is the first of four. Your next ones will be followed up in the next coming Mondays, again at 12 o'clock. So make sure you stay tuned. And if you're just as excited as we are about the new customer portal, make sure you tune in every Monday at noon. So that being said, taking a look today, we're going to be looking at one of the new features of the customer portal, where we're now now we're able to create contracts with your standard estimates. So up until the launch of our new customer portal, the only thing that was available for contract creation was through service estimates with your maintenance contracts. But when we launched the customer portal just over 2 weeks ago, one of the new features and very exciting features and most requested features for those of you who do design build or installation projects is the ability to create contracts within a standard estimate. And that obviously filters over to LMN Time to become to generate your invoicing and for your pricing. So that being said, let's walk through a quick little demo here on how you can create contracts within a standard estimate. Let's pop open my LMN estimating screen. So from here, what you're going to do, obviously, open up one of your standard estimates. So I've prepped one ready here. So again, you can kind of see here a standard, well, maybe not so much a standard, but a design build project that I've got kind of built with a front porch and steps, walkway, driveway, planting, or 2 plantings for seasonal, and a lighting project. So again, this is just an estimate that's been built. If any of you have been in any of the LMN Academy in-person classes, you've probably seen this as well. But again, this is a standard estimate. You know, all of our pricing has been set up, all of our hours are all set up, but the one thing that's very new, and if you haven't noticed this before, is up here at the top of your screen is a new button to create a contract. So clicking on this, now, very similar to service estimates, we can now create a contract for this estimate. So clicking on the screen button, we want to basically provide some details. So does this contract have a PO number? Sure. I mean, if you're using a PO number to do orders for materials, or maybe you want to use the estimate number for the PO number or the contract number, you can do that as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, customer's going to sign off on this estimate. So now contract has been signed. I'm going to create a contract. So my contract number is basically my estimate number. Save it. Remember, save your changes, okay? Is this estimate going to be, or is this contract going to be taxable? What's my cost code for QuickBooks purposes? Okay, and go from there. There's a couple things you can do in your next steps. Is note down here at the bottom, very similar to those of you who've done service estimates, if you have a total, it's going to show you here that you're short by what your actual total for your project is. So now what I'm going to do is create what we call milestones. So rather than, so very similar to service estimates where we're setting up our monthly seasonal billing, we can now add milestones. Very, very easy, and a couple cool features that I want to show you here. We have a couple options here of creating milestones. We can use the estimate, we can go by work area, or we can go by cost code. So for today's example, I'm going to go by the estimate, and now we can look at however many payments that we've got. So I want to do this. This is going to take me probably a few weeks to do this. So I'm actually going to run this by, let's do 4 different payments. So what we can do here now is we have the option to, do we want to divide the 4 payments up by a certain percentage, or do we want to do it by a dollar amount? To keep things nice and easy and keep a good flow today for today's webinar or today's example, let's just go by percentage. So if I want to say my first milestone is the initial deposit, I can just update this field, and then I can say what my actual deposit amount is. So I'm going to ask for 10% upfront. LMN will automatically calculate what that 10% is off of our total to give us our first milestone payment. Okay, our next milestone is going to be project start. And I'm going to ask for 20%. Again, LMM will automatically calculate that percentage to give us our next milestone amount. Our third milestone was going to be our project midpoint. We're going to go 30%. Okay, and then our last milestone is going to be project completion. One of the nice features here with LMN is you can either figure out what your remaining percentage is, so your 40%, or there's a nice little handy calculator button here on the bottom right-hand corner. You can just click that and it'll automatically calculate your balance for the actual contract amount. So again, you can start making some changes here if you feel maybe that we want to do 20% up front, we want to do 25% upon start, 25% at midpoint. When we get down to our last one, 50, 70, we can go our last balance of 30%, and now we have our four different milestones. So again, that's an option using your milestone amounts. We hit cancel. Try doing it now by estimate. Again, we're going to do 4 payments, but now let's go by a dollar amount. All right, so you'll notice here that my percentage field is now grayed out, and now I'm actually going to be putting in a numerical amount or a fixed dollar amount here to calculate out what my 4 milestones are going to be. So again, project deposit. All right, we're going to say 10,000 up front. Project start, so that 10,000 will give me my first ability to order my materials to get the project started. And let's do the same thing that we did kind of before. Project midpoint. Okay, and again, milestone 4 is going to be project completion. If I could spell. Again, hit my little calculator button, and it'll give me my balance. All right, so once I've chosen what I want, how I want to break this out, okay, either by percentage or by dollar amount, by estimate, by work area. Okay, again, I can complete this by work area, so I can break this down into my individual work areas off of my contract to do maybe my front porch and steps. That's going to be a bill. My walkway, my driveway, et cetera, et cetera. All right, nice and easy. Keep it by your estimate. Do your 4 payments. Go again by percentages. And once you've got your milestones set up, again, please, nobody correct my spelling. Or you can correct my spelling. Up to you. Midpoint. Hit add. Your payments add up to more than you sure you wish to continue. Continue. 29,926.55, 29,926.55. There we go. So now that it's saved, it's all ready to go. Okay. From there, when you move this job over, or when you move this estimate over to LMN time to become a job, Invoice has already been activated. We bring over my contract number. I've got my invoice schedule. Everything's ready. Okay. I can set my invoices and my payments. From there as well, I can actually set specific dates. So if I know when this project is going to start, I can actually create in here an actual invoice date. So today, I'm going to start this project on the 25th, so I want a deposit on the 13th. Project start is going to be the 25th. My third invoice is going to be the June 3rd. And I expect to have this project completed by the 10th. So my last one is going to be the 10th. So now I've got my invoices all set to go. When anybody who's done LMN invoicing will be able to tell that as soon as I set these dates up, when I hit my generate screen, these invoices will automatically generate for this customer, and I can transfer them over to QuickBooks and send them out. Okay. So from there, if there's any questions on any of this, what I'd like to do now is open up the floor to any questions. So please feel free to use the little questions box at the bottom of your screen and throw some questions at me. Love to help. So the other option too, we kind of covered this off briefly, was the different options that you could do to actually generate your billing. So again, if you wanted to do these by work area or by specific project, again, it could be a multifaceted project that you're doing or a larger installation where you've got different areas here. So what we could look at is how you actually have your work areas broken down. So if I were to do my front porch and steps at 7430, my walkway at 2667, the driveway 1555, the two plantings number 2, and then lastly the lighting project. A couple of things you would have to do in this case if you're recreating your contract. So over in LMN time, if you've exported it over, but you're going to be making some edits. We'll pull that same job up. Then we're going to delete the original contract. Okay, we haven't scheduled this yet, so I'm going to delete this job. And then back to the estimating side. Pull this estimate up again. Take the original contract. Again, PO number, or sorry, contract number is going to be same as the original estimate number. I'm going to add my milestones, but now I'm going to base these on work area. So I've got 6 work areas, so I'm going to create 6 different, 6 different invoices, and this one I'm going to go by dollar amount. So my first milestone is going to be my front porch and steps, and the amount on that is $74.30 and 90 cents. My next milestone is going to be the walkway, $26.67.72. Next is my driveway, $314.55. My first seasonal planting, $32.98. Next planting that I have set up, and then finally my lighting. So as long as my totals match up, I should see here a milestone total of 100%. Click on add, and now I've got my new contract. All ready to go. I'm getting a question here. Does the contract export to PDF? So one of the things we're working on right now is the ability to, much like your service estimates, so our dev team is actually working on this currently. In your service estimates, if you create a seasonal contract and create a proposal for your customer with a billing summary or a timetable, you can actually print out a seasonal contract and show the actual billing dates. So we are working on that. Our dev team is working on that. Hope to have it up very shortly. And then basically we'll be able to export that in a customer proposal. So when you provide the customer their initial estimate, they could sign off on that. If they want to see what the billing schedule would look like, you can run another one, include that payment schedule, and fire that over to the customer as well. That way they have basically the original pre-signed copy, and then secondly, they would have another copy with the payment schedule. Apologies, it's Monday, tired. Sorry, another question just came in. Could you show another example of a contract? Is there a particular type of contract that you wanted to see in regards to that? So I guess if you did one with say 10,000 and then another 10,000 with final payment at the end. Move this contract. Okay. Add my milestones. So if I go by my estimated amount of 29,926, my first milestone, I would probably do 2 payments. My first one will be 50% up front. My last will be 50. I could do it that way. I could change this to 3 payments, where I could break this off into 25% or however I want to do it, maybe 10, like he asked, or sorry, like the question was asked, dollar amount, 1,000 up front, 10,000 here, and then I would just need my 99, 26, 55. And I can create my 3 different milestones. Again, noted what they could be or what they're for, and then forward that to the customer. So again, up here in print reports, once I save this, when I create my proposal, I can click submit. And so again, our development team should have, or are hoping to have, basically at the very bottom of your proposal. Again, you could start playing around with your proposal now instead of providing everything. We can hide things now so that we could just give the customer their breakdown on what each work area is, what they're getting. Okay, and then provide them with a payment schedule at the end. So very similar to a service contract. And for those of you who haven't seen one, I'll just kind of give you a rundown. Let's see if I can find a service contract that's got what we need out of it. Here we go. We use this one here. So here's a seasonal contract. right? So we'll have an option here where we'll have a payment schedule. So that way when we click submit, we can provide our customer with an actual breakdown of what their milestones would be, and again, in a service contract, or sorry, in a standard contract. So again, design build projects, install projects, they'd be able to see that their first, if we're planning on starting again on the 25th of May, we could basically have our deposit, our project start date, our midpoint, and then our completion date based on when we plan on having this done with our breakdowns and our amounts. So again, this will be coming very shortly, so stay tuned for that. And I guess if there are no other questions today, one of the things that we want to kind of cover off with everybody is to make sure that you know about what Element has to offer. There's our forms library where you can get some helpful documentation to share with your organization. Please make sure you join our LMN user groups. These are great groups to share ideas with or get ideas from. If you're new to LMN, want to know how to do a couple different things within the software, the user groups are probably one of your best resources. These are individuals who have been using the software, have learned tips and tricks on their own, or maybe through some help from their client success manager, and are sharing those ideas openly. It's a great group, so you can find us both on Facebook and on LinkedIn. And of course, lastly, please make sure you take advantage of some of the some of the other opportunities that Element has to offer. We do have our free Element Online Academy. Again, it's free. It's within everybody's account. So just go to your Element estimating page, and at the very bottom of the screen or the very bottom of the menu, you'll see Element Academy Online. Click on that. It's a great tool or a great resource for training. You've got your client success managers. So again, you've been introduced to your assigned client success manager. Work with them. They are probably the best resources that you have. They'll work within your account via screen share to again help build your account. There's our virtual workshops. So again, check out our workshops page at golmn.com, and you'll see a bunch of our workshops that are available. Again, some of these are free, and you'll be able to learn a lot from those. And again, there's our free webinar series. So again, in regards to the customer portal, today is the first of 4. So tune in next week with Holly, where she'll be taking over topic number 2 as well. Also, you might want to check out our new LMN Virtual Academy. So again, much like our in-person classes that we used to offer before, unfortunately, COVID struck. We are now offering at 2 p.m. every single day the opportunity to go online and work with a LMN facilitator. So now you can, in a live environment, work with a LMN Academy professional, ask questions while you're working within your account, and again, totally free. So again, these are at 2 p.m. every single day, different topics every day of the week, and going from there. So again, my name is Chris Davies. It's been a pleasure helping everybody through standard contracts today, a new portion to our customer portal, and hope everybody has a great day. Stay well, stay safe.